We now have more information than ever on what the Backrooms movie's soundtrack will be like. We got a totally unexpected positive response from our last video about this, and apparently I missed a lot of info. You guys were quick to let me know though, and I'm back, this time with even more possibilities to follow. If you missed it, in the first video, we went on an in-depth analysis of some of Kane Parsons' music. He's the one who popularized the Backrooms and is directing the upcoming Backrooms A24 film. His Backrooms soundtracks, volume 1 through 3, give us a taste of what the official movie might sound like. But apparently there is a ton of stuff I missed. Like entire albums I missed. First, though, there are a bunch of connections and fun facts about the original 3 volumes that I didn't know. I got most of these from this one guy that left an absolute monolith of a comment. Here are the highlights. 1. The leitmotif from Async Research Institute, track 14 on volume 1, is actually used in a lot of other songs. Number 2, Please Do Not Speak, the 5th track on volume 2, is apparently a remix of Subwoofer Lullaby by C418. I can kind of hear it, that's really interesting. Number 3, and a bunch of you made sure to let me know this, Time Passages, the 7th volume 2 song, is a remix of a song by the same name by Al Stewart. Number 4, track 3 of volume 3, For the Sake of Mankind There Is Nothing More to Be Extracted, is a slowed and reverb version of Person, the opening track of volume 2. Those are all super interesting tidbits of lore, but there's one more thing this comment said that a lot of you also told me. These 3 volumes aren't the only soundtracks. Not by a long shot. There's actually 2, technically 3 more entire albums that serve as soundtracks to this. As many of you pointed out in the comments, Kane has 2 sides of an album called Out of Sync available on his Spotify. These projects are adjacent to the Backrooms, spinning off of his lore, tying in with remixes and leitmotifs, and very, very rarely being featured in videos of his. There's also the album titled Dattern, and it's currently being uploaded to YouTube, with the latest entry only 6 days old. According to some of you, as well as a random guy on Reddit, this may or may not be the actual soundtrack for the film. A bunch of people say that it will be, but there's also a few saying it's entirely separate from the film and is strictly for his found footage series. Although this isn't on Spotify, which is what we tend to focus on here on this channel, I think it's a necessary listen for the sake of the investigation. So that means that I have 3 more albums to listen to. Let's get straight into the reviews, and then I'll talk about what this means for the film. On the very first track of Out of Sync Side 1, I'm already hearing lore connections to songs like Midwestern Trauma Light. Who Was That Again is pretty spooky. In Sight, In Mind is a great example of how string sounds could be used in the soundtrack without being generic. I really like how this one swells and builds up. Track 4, What the F Are You Talking About, is super ominous and I liked it. Glacier V2 was a nice reversion. I like it better than the first. Track 6, 1980, immediately hooked me with the weird opening instrument. It's super weird and panny, and I like how the bass sounds like Stranger Things. There's quite a few second versions on here. Post-Traumatic Amnesia is one of my favorite songs from Side 1. I really liked version 1 on volume 1, and this one reminds me of C418's Moog City 2. Track 8 is really great. Definitely a highlight from Side 1. It's unsettlingly upbeat, but it's such a vibe. It sounds straight out of a Minecraft music disc. You Have Always Been Here, parentheses piano, is really pretty. Toby Fox and C418 level piano work, amazing melancholy melodies. This sounds like end credits music for sure. Alive has some great instrumentation. Low Man Commutes is also pretty nice and weirdly light. And October Door 1989 has some really cool found sounds that make it pretty ominous. What I really love though is the soft synth and drum patterns in Sailing. This one is my favorite overall from Side 1. In Document Purge, we have the return of the famous dissonant bonk noise. Dissonant bonk noise is something I never thought I'd talk about in a music review. I don't like this one on its own, but I'd be on the edge of my seat if I heard it in theaters. Track 15, A Life, is just 7 minutes of wonderfully ambient chords. The next track, Seizure, is really unsettling again. It pairs dark and dissonant synths with another ARP melody that sounds way too lighthearted to be there. I was absolutely blindsided by Asynchronous Suppression demo. Hello, Terraria boss music? There's certainly a leitmotif a few minutes in, but I can't remember which song it comes from. This song is so epic that I might have to sue Kane if something similar isn't in the movie. I think I can hear the leitmotif from Async Research Institute and Tidal Pools. It's a very pretty track, but I don't have much else to say. The non-piano version of You Have Always Been Here brings back similar instruments from my favorite track in the last video. It's pretty cool. The next track, Contractors, is really weird and funky and eerie. It's the sound of something strange going on. Finally, side 1 closes with Forever Young, and yes, it is a remix of that popular song. It turns it into this faraway Rhodes melody with some drums that sound really cool. Side 1 was very typical and fits in great with the 3 volumes. Like volumes 1 and 3, I'll give side 1 an 8 out of 10. Out of Sync side 2 is wildly different at first, right off the bat. Steady Machine caught me totally off guard. It's kind of fire though. The second track, You Cannot Make It Go Away, is uncanny and fun about halfway through. It's entering what I'd classify as silly territory. The Same Material had some cool instruments, but I don't have much else to say about it. Okay, now, government funding orchestral version. This is what I need. This is exactly what I need from this soundtrack. Give me this in theaters and I would ascend to the heavens. This is such a great rescoring of one of the best Volume 1 songs. Easily one of my favorite songs from side 2, and I knew that before I'd even heard the rest of the album. Sundown Entry Wound was pretty at first, but I didn't like how it changed up, and Don't Leave was interesting but not my favorite, with all the real-life sounds like car horns and dial tones. Then, oh my goodness, Sea Ice. What a pretty little song. Super lovely. The tracks that follow, A Glimpse and Souvenir, follow suit. It's a great 3-track run. None of Them Trust You and Neuron Home were both good sonic journeys as well. Number 12, Ivan Visits the Light plus Defy, was really cool, with some leitmotifs and scattered instruments. Turn On the TV demo was weird. I loved how it started, and it got all strange and fast-paced. It wasn't bad, just totally unexpected. It shifts a lot as it goes along, reminding me of some of the really long songs on volumes 1 and 2. I don't think Kane exactly knows what an orchestra is, though, because the supposed orchestral version of it, track 14, is literally entirely synthesizers about 2.5 minutes in. It sounds great, and if this is what the film soundtrack is like, I'm so down, but it's a little misnamed. I wouldn't call it an orchestral version. I can't tell which one it is, but there's lots of leitmotifs in this song. Overlooking the Sea was really epic in some parts, and Watching the Clock was disturbingly awesome and ominous. I love the way it swells up in the last third of the song. Also, holy crap, IVN V1 was a trip and a half. It's 15 minutes long, which tops the longest song from the volumes. It's this constant shifting ambient piece that ties in countless motifs from across the soundtracks, and there are some really stellar points. I don't have much to say about Remains, though, the track that comes after. Government Funding V2 is really good. It's a nice revamp, and there's a total switch up about 2/3 through. It's very beautiful, and it's really solidifying my need for something relating to this song in the movie. Going right into Visible Light, a sad-sounding one, is a flawless transition. They match each other perfectly. The closer, Old Song, was also a total surprise. I was not expecting lovely plucked instruments and a sad chord progression. All in all, I think I liked the two sides about the same, maybe side 2 just a little bit more. They're both very similar to the volumes, and they're great as a coherent series of 5. Alright, now here's the weird one. The currently YouTube-only album. Dattern by Kane Parsons actually opens with a song that's already on Spotify, I Love My Job. I love my job. It's extremely lush and drifting, full of ambient piano and strings. As a YouTube album, this is definitely a different experience, but hey, I'm all for trying new things. Liaison is short but ominous. I can easily picture it in the film. 19-Hour Workday was a 6-minute, beautiful piece of ambient work. I'd totally come back to it sometime. It's followed by Foreigner, which is far shorter, but equally as pretty. It ends with really dark synth pulses, though. It's pretty cool. Track 5, You Are Completely Unqualified to Be in This Room, has some blatant references to the volumes, which were expected, but still very awesome. It has the government funding leitmotif pretty prominently. I need this song on Spotify ASAP. It's such an amazing flip of the leitmotif. We Will Find You, People You Met, and Morning Air all have pretty much the same stuff. Great instruments, Kane's typical style, and some Backrooms references thrown in there. I don't dislike any of them at all. I just can't come up with anything special to say about them. I liked Around the Corner quite a bit. Short again, but sweet. The next track, Neuronal Chirality, was really weird with a strange vocal sample. Lots of weird text-to-speech voices, and it switches up to a dark, progressing synth beat halfway through. It wasn't really my favorite. The penultimate track, You Will Already Happen Forever, was very nice, but it ends abruptly and I kind of wish it had kept going. There are some 6-minute songs on here I wish weren't 6 minutes, and there were some 3-minute songs on here I wished were 6 minutes. Special Access Light Spectrum works great as a temporary closer here. Obviously we can't be sure if Dattern is done yet, but for now I like this being the last track. It once again has leitmotifs galore and is very well made. It also has a weird ending though. So there's clearly a story here. Whether this is the literal actual film soundtrack or not, I'm still unsure, but it is 100% connected to the story. I'd also like to point out that the final track's thumbnail is literally a blatant Backrooms image. Just saying. This album is actually very strong. I'd give it a good 9 out of 10. Okay, so what does this mean? Well, the fact alone that Dattern is actively in progress and isn't on Spotify yet, and that it's been in progress for less time than the film has, gives me a really strong suspicion that it could be the actual film soundtrack. I don't know though, it could just be another project for fun. I'm just saying the evidence is there. Also, the existence of the various version 2s and orchestral remixes is a strong hint towards the film's sound. I expressed my feelings on orchestral scores in the first video, but I think they'd work here with a mix of liminal music as well as typical film scores, especially if they use Kane's signature leitmotifs like the government funding one. Also, I'd like to clear up or at least give my thoughts on some other topics I saw come up pretty frequently in the comments. Firstly, the Caretaker. For those of you who don't know, the Caretaker is a musician who made some very popular liminal style music using old string recordings and tape editing. Their most popular songs are It's Just a Burning Memory, Le Bet's Delay, or Childishly Fresh Eyes. Countless people mentioned in our comments how much they want the Caretaker to have songs in the film or to compose the soundtrack himself.
I guarantee Just a Burning Memory will play in the introduction
Honestly,
of the
I feel like
film.
It's Just a Burning Memory shouldn't be the only song from the Caretaker that should be.
They better play a Burning Memory.
A1, It's Just a Burning Memory is such a standard and nostalgic thing for the Backrooms. I really wish they would use it.
I really hope they play the song It's Just a Burning Memory in this
I
movie.
kind of hope the music would be like The Shining or Everywhere at the End of Time. If the Caretaker doesn't make the soundtrack, I'm gonna
It would be
boycott.
so cool if Kane reached out to the Caretaker and used some of his uncanny songs.
I'd like to point out that, although it's possible, the chances are low. Kane controls the artistic direction for his film and would probably want finer control over the musical direction, whether he composes it or not. Even if he did want something like It's Just a Burning Memory featured in the film as an opener or for the credits, Kane and A24 would both have to secure rights to use the song. Sadly, as a for-profit film, they can't just rip any songs that they want just because the community says it would be cool, and some of you don't understand that. Secondly, Edo Van Breemen. Quite a few viewers adamantly brought up the point that Kane has supposedly said a lot of things about the soundtrack, ranging from Kane said he will compose it, to Kane said he will co-compose it, to Kane said the film will have no music. Many people who said he's co-composing pointed to the rumors of Edo Van Breemen, a pretty small Canadian film composer. As I said in my first Backrooms soundtrack video, there is an insane amount of info up in the air about this movie, meaning it's hard to get a clear-cut answer on anything. After some digging though, I think I do have an answer for you. It's both. The answer's both. According to the film on Letterboxd, which, keep in mind, isn't necessarily a verified source, alongside a few people on Reddit, Super credible source, I know, but hey, we take what we can get. Both Parsons and Van Breemen are composing the soundtrack. This is especially great because now we have an even clearer vision of what the songs might sound like. Seems like we could get a fusion of Kane's style and Edo's style. Finally, the boxed-in demo. Kane has apparently released a demo song, supposedly saying it's a demo of the film's soundtrack style. I won't play it here, but if you check it out for yourself on his second channel, you can clearly hear that it's very similar to what we've heard in the 3 volumes, as well as Out of Sync and Dattern. So, to sum everything up, the Backrooms film will likely have a soundtrack composed by both Kane Parsons and Edo Van Breemen. It will probably end up sounding very similar to Kane's 5 released Backrooms albums on Spotify, and may even contain songs directly from his in-progress album Dattern. The film is unlikely to contain music from the Caretaker or any other liminal music artists due to rights conflicts. Again, if I missed anything, let me know in the comments. Thank you all so much for your support on the first video. We'd love to keep sharing musicians on Spotify who deserve more attention through music review and analysis videos just like this. Join the Small Artists Initiative today if you're interested in supporting people like Kane, or if you're a musician yourself. We have a Discord server and a Google form linked on our channel page. I probably won't make a third part to this series directly unless something crazy comes out. I do have some spin-off videos on related topics as well though. If you'd like to see videos about liminal game soundtracks or the best liminal musicians, stay tuned. Until then, keep exploring new sounds. Thanks for watching.